What's up, guys? June 8th, got my computer out. Today is actually editing day. Filmed something yesterday with Birthday Boy. Make sure to tell him that down in the comments below. Taryn Berthoff. He's got a lot of golden nuggets about life to offer to everyone, and I figured it'd be awesome for him to share his story on the channel. And so that's what we're going to do. I also just wanted to stop and say thank you all for everyone's support lately. With me being back here in my hometown in Dallas, I have permission now to say that a different friend, his father passed away, and that's why I'm here to kind of support the family and be here for them, and which is a big reason why the videos may have been weird lately. I'm just making them to where it's easier for me to edit them, so I have more time to spend with the family. But without further ado, I'd like to get into Taryn's story now, so hope you all enjoy. I like it. It's just...
You never had one. You never had anything like it.
It has a thin layer of caramel in the middle.
Oh dear, it's gonna steal it, isn't it?
No. I don't think the vlog knows that this is Avalons Shop. Yeah. That's, all this. Thank you, sir. So this is Avalons Shop right here in the heart of Denison, downtown. Taryn's wife. Y'all should definitely come and check it out. All right, 12:30. Grab some coffee from Avalons Shop. For anyone that doesn't know Taryn, this is one of my best friends since preschool, and then we got even closer though, like in third grade, right?
Yeah, definitely third grade. Started skating together and hanging out, causing trouble in town.
Okay, so we just got to Taryn's office here, which apparently is about to be demolished. And
Yep. Everything that you see is going to disappear. We're going to remodel it into something very cool. Our friend Jared and Austin are working on design.
Let's kind of get into your background a little bit. I clearly struggled with my own addictions and mental health issues and everything, and I think it's a good place to start. So
100%. And you and I both struggled with different things, but nonetheless struggled in very similar time frames as well. So whenever I was in high school, I started becoming very depressed and anxious, and at that time I was pursuing going to college to get a degree in theology and philosophy. Ended up going to college up in Chicago and became very depressed to the point that my mind was nothing, there was no semblance of who I was years previous to where I was in college. So, I ended up leaving college after my third year because I really needed some help. I needed to surround myself with people that I loved and people who loved me, that knew me. Because when I was in college, no one around me knew who I was prior to my depression and prior to this episode. I think a couple things happened during that time. One, I had never really processed the death of my father. And at that point, all of that anger that was within me came out. And I think in many ways, depression is anger that's turned inwards. And so I hated myself, I hated life, didn't want to get out of bed. And if I did, I wanted to kill the pain. And like many people do, I tried to use alcohol to numb that pain through the day. So when I got back from school, you and I both linked up and recognized we were struggling. And they say misery loves company, but you and I had been friends for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, even during that time that you and I were struggling with depression and anxiety and some addictions, we were able to link up and love one another where we were at and talk about the day we would get better and the day we would come out of this darkness.
all right, so yeah, clearly Taryn and I were just going through our own individual struggles, and got to a point where we were just working our own different types of jobs here in town. Went through a whole bunch of just crappy jobs, and eventually led Taryn into the profession that he's in today. I'll kind of let you talk about that. Yeah, by the way, Taryn's got a whole entire little golf setup right here.
Yeah, so talking about jobs, be good.
Did you get it? Oh, he
yes.
got it. He got it.
So I started working at a liquor store in part because I was drinking a lot, so I had a lot of interest in whiskey and still do, just don't abuse it. Started working in a liquor store, also was working management for a housing development, and that was a terrible job. The nights were occupied by work as well. I was working at UPS, loading trucks, and if you want to lose some weight, go take that job. It wasn't a bad job, actually. During that time, I started studying for real estate. I started studying for real estate, and I met, well, one thing I've always been is very inquisitive, so I started interviewing people in the community, actually. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life, but I thought, okay, I could go back to school, finish my philosophy in law, or finish my philosophy degree, go into law, and so I started interviewing lawyers. Then a lot of my friends who are physicians are very wealthy, so I thought, well, I'll interview physicians. So kind of a nugget of wisdom for you. If you don't know what you want to do in life, go interview people in your community. They're probably going to be happy to meet with you and discuss whether or not it's a path that they think you should take. They may not always know what's right for you, but you can at least figure out and somewhat discern how their life is and what their schedule's like. So I started doing that, and I talked to one of my buddies who is in the medical field, and his name is Dwight. And Tanner and I met with him, and we asked him, how did you make your money? And he said, mostly through real estate. And most of the money I get on a monthly basis is through my work, but real estate's what's made me wealthy. So that was the first time I ever had any sort of concept of real estate, which was a fractured one. I didn't know much at all, but he said, if you can find me some rent houses over the summer, I'll pay you $3,000 per house that you bring that I end up buying. So we thought, man, this is amazing. We actually ended up putting together a small company where Tanner and I were finding properties that needed rehabbed and remodeling them, putting them in a company. And Tanner and I actually took a smaller amount of money for each house, but we owned a percentage of the properties. And we own maybe like 24 in that company to this day. And Tanner was a huge help. My buddy Tanner, Jacobs Tanner, who you've seen on this channel, phenomenal guy, brilliant dude. And he started the real estate journey with me. So starting a journey with someone is always better, because Tanner understood the more analytical number side of things. I understood the relationship side of things and how to seek out deals. So we were a perfect team, really, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another, right? We were iron for each other. And fortunately, we were able to leave our bad jobs after a few months. We got some closings, had some money coming in. And at that time, we were working only residential deals. And we were putting together multiple companies with different investors and selling them properties, and then selling portfolios of properties. And we met Lisa, who I still work with today. We both still work with her. She asked us to get our license. She paid for our classes, got us in, and was a mentor for...
She was a broker at the time that ended up finding y'all through the work that y'all had been doing through the rentals, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We were asking her to show us houses, and she encouraged us to get a license, because we were doing stuff on like writing contracts on the back of the napkin. We should not have been writing contracts at that time, but we got our license. Everything turned out to work really well, and we loved the profession, and both are still in it. And doing well at the profession. So
what is life like now? What was the shift from going from those first couple of years to where you are at now? You know what I mean?
I think what really changed was my time management more than probably anything else. So understanding how to utilize your time well and allocating your own time is going to make the biggest difference. Time is so much more valuable than money. I mean, money, you can make $1 million and you can lose $1 million. Time you spend a day, you're never getting that day back. That day is incredibly valuable. Jacob can tell you, I kind of went dark for probably 5 years. I didn't hang out with anybody. In fact, for those 5 years, I took, at least the first 5 years of real estate, I took about 3 days a year off from work, and I was working 15 hours, 20 hours a day. It's not healthy. I don't recommend that everyone do that, but if you want to get somewhere quickly, a lot of people want to say that success is all me, and that's just really not the case for most people, and it's certainly not the case for myself. I think I could ascribe most of my success to the people who are around me in life, and I will say the onus is on me to put those people there, and some of it's luck, some of it's choice. It's definitely choice who you choose not to cut out of your life. But I've shrunk my circle very small. I have a very small group of people who can advise me on different facets of life. So having this small core that really helps keep you sane is important. If you don't have that, start meeting people and try and become friends with people who you want to be like. I know it's kind of cliche to say that, but it's one thing to say it and another to act it out.
Do you have any words of encouragement or last things you may have wanted to tell the subs or anything?
Well, first off, thanks for doing this interview. I think that's really cool, and I'm humbled that you asked me. I hope that I give some bits of wisdom to everyone. Little bits of wisdom. What could I give? I alluded earlier in the channel in the video to time management being key. What I really find to be important in my life is breaking down my day into 30-minute increments and really schedule out my time so I know exactly how I'm using every 30 minutes throughout the day. I do that because 30 minutes is easy. I can accomplish a project in 30 minutes. If not 30, it's an hour, or on and on, right? So let's do a little mental exercise. If you look at 30 minutes in the day, it's 2% of your day. Your day has 1,440 minutes in it. If you look at that across a whole year, it's also 2% of your year. 2% of your year is about 7.3 days. That's 24-hour full days. Now, if I'm thinking about just the time that I'm awake, that could be spanned across about 2.5 weeks, right? So if I'm spending 30 minutes a day doing something, Instagram, Facebook, bullshitting at Starbucks, it doesn't matter, that is a significant portion of my year that's gone. If I look at it in a 2-week segment, that's actually 4% of my year, or closer to 5. So really 30 minutes is a lot of time, and time is the most valuable thing you have. So set a schedule, and the goal is not for the schedule to confine you, but it's to free you up. That way whenever you're done with your work, you have time to play. But a good first step, and especially with my mental health, just dealing with depression and trying to avoid that black cloud or deal with it, is setting a schedule. That way I know I'm getting up every morning, I'm going to the gym. It's a consistent in my life. The next thing I do is have coffee and a shake or breakfast. Then I come to the office, and having a set schedule is going to be very key, both for your mental health and for your future success. Sorry for the sneeze. Yeah, so